If you haven't subscribed already, ring that bell to get notified when new movies are posted. Chris Young here from HomeKit Geek, and today we're going to be looking at the IQAir AirVisual Pro. So I do want to say thank you to the AirVisual folks for sending me this review unit. Super awesome. I've been really impressed so far. So this is a Wi-Fi device, 2.4 gigahertz. 5-inch LED screen, lithium-ion battery with micro USB charging, which is kind of cool. So this is similar to some of the other devices like the IQAir Laser Egg, where you've actually got a battery in this so you can walk around with it, move it around your house if you want to. It doesn't always have to be plugged in. This does have a PM 2.5, so particulate matter 2.5 sensor, CO2 sensor, temperature sensor, and humidity sensor. So the only one that it's really missing, in my opinion, is probably the volatile organic compound sensor, which is one of the things that I like to know about if that's happening in my house, if I see my VOCs rising too high. So this is kind of a special device. IQAir has done a really good job of trying to create a community around air quality. So we're going to look at that a little bit as well after we dig into the unboxing. So IQAir AirVisual Pro. Right in the box, you can see it is an indoor and outdoor air quality monitor. So that's one kind of thing that's cool about this, is it is a outdoor spec monitor as well, to go down to -10, humidity 0 to 100%. Right, I probably wouldn't leave this underneath the rain, to be honest, but it's supposed to be able to stay outdoors, which is kind of cool because you can even publish your data as public data to help other people understand kind of air quality, which is kind of fun. This is that I was talking about, the community thing, right? So taking the box open, you can see here the AirVisual Pro is in here. Nice box, nice blue color there. And we've got the nice little user manual in here. This will tell us how to get the AirVisual Pro up and running. And you can see we've got a whole bunch of information on exactly what it is that we're going to be tracking and what the health risks are, those kinds of things. So they're definitely concerned with education as well. So IQAir doesn't just make the AirVisual Pro, they also make a suite of air purifiers as well, including air purifiers that go in your car, which is kind of cool. So we're going to be looking at that in an upcoming video. So taking this off here, you can see here again, it's a plastic. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic. It feels like a solid device. And of course, you've got the ability for all the air to circulate within the device, which is of course how you're going to get that PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5 testing. So as I mentioned, the AirVisual Pro is battery. It's got a lithium-ion battery in it, and it is USB charged using the USB micro that you can see here on the screen. I was able to run this for hours. I'm not sure of the total runtime that you would get off of a 100% charge, but it's definitely measured in hours. I was able to move it around my house and get readings in different areas, and I had no problems at all with that. So the other thing to point out here is that you don't actually need the app all the time or to be looking at your phone, because you've got this really large, bright screen that you can see across the room, and the interface on it is done in such a way that you can pretty easily tell what the quality of the air is. The other thing that's really nice is I was able to actually go through the entire setup on the device and didn't have to worry about logging into the app. Of course, I had to create an account and all those kinds of things, which we'll show you later. But being able to set the device up using just the display screen is really nice. It also means that the barrier to entry for some non-technical people who maybe don't have a smartphone or don't want to have a smartphone or don't want to have to check their phone all the time, right? Makes it pretty easy to be able to go and connect that and get it up and running. So just being totally transparent with you guys, I had some problems getting this paired, and I'm really not clear whether that was a result of some peculiarities, shall we say, about my home network. I'm running multiple different wireless networks at home. It's a little more complicated than what most people would have. So I did have some issues with getting it paired, but the good news is that I was able to get through that without a lot of trouble by essentially just following the instructions. So it took me a couple times, like I said, but I did manage to get it worked out. So the one that was actually successful, I set the device for pairing mode. I went over and in my Wi-Fi settings, connected to the SSID that it was broadcasting. and then went back into the device and basically just finished off the setup, which, like I said, wasn't too bad. I happen to believe the issues I have were a result of my environment, so I do want to put that and say that I don't think it was the IQAir. I want to make sure you guys get the good, the bad, the ugly, full transparency, but I also want to take responsibility when I clearly think this was something that I caused and not a problem with the product itself, right? So you guys have both sides of that story just in case. So now you can see that we actually have the device loaded and it's starting to grab some data. Right now, things are looking pretty good in the home bedroom here in the Montreal region. So we double tap into this on the device. You can start to see that we're starting to gather some data here. There's some health recommendations there. So really they're trying to create, like I said, a community. They're trying to create more of a lifestyle and educate us. What are the effects of the air quality around us and the air that we're breathing, right? We would think that we would be safe in our houses, but that's questionable. Depends on the house, I suppose. Right? So the other button there that you saw was the Publish My Pro. And like I said, that is another interesting thing that they've done, is created this community where we can share our air quality data if you're so inclined. So as the device starts to get a little more used to the environment, you can start to see that the CO2 readings start to come up, the humidity readings start to come up, all the data that you would think to, and over time, it's going to continue to track. You've also got the ability to do additional settings, which is, again, that community thing, which is nice. You have the ability to actually set your location, and the device will go out and find a weather station or an air quality station close to you, right? So, which is also kind of cool, right? Is you can go out and grab your outdoor data, which is going to really help to understand things like, well, if my humidity is really, really high outside, or the PM 2.5 is really high outside, is opening my window actually the right choice to kind of deal with the whatever issue I happen to be having in my house at that point in time? So as we tour through the app a little bit, I just wanted to point out some of the other kind of details and nice touches that I think are in there. The whole air quality, letting you know what that legend actually means, what those colors mean, and why they're giving them is really nice. Being able to go and look at the different ratings and resources for exposure, environments, letting us know the environmental, how much have we actually been exposed at a certain point in time. All of that, I think, is pretty awesome, as well as just generally giving us more information and helping to educate us, the public, the consumer, about really air quality in our lives all over the place. So the last thing I wanted to show you guys is the IQAir AirVisual, the portal, and give you an idea of what's actually available here, because I think it's pretty important to understand what the whole solution is, right? So going to the web page here, which you can check, it's a web page anywhere that you have internet access. You have the ability to go through and look at your followed locations to understand what's going on around you. You can look at the devices. So if you've got multiple of these in multiple locations, if you've got a remote location, a cabin, or a rental property or something like that, you want to see what's going on, you can do that from here. You all have that from the one central dashboard. You also have the ability to have widgets, which you can embed in web pages. So if you have a custom dashboard that you're creating, if you've got some development skills, that's available here as well to just embed into your web page. And of course, you've got the API as well. So what I found kind of curious here is the API, or application programming interface. This allows us to write code to be able to get data out, but it doesn't seem to have the AirVisual Pro data in here. It's really more focused around all of the air from different supported countries and giving you a global kind of dashboard on that. Again, nice little touches here. Allows you to grab your location, assuming that you allow it to do that. You give it that permissions, and they will go out and they will automatically, based on your location, find where you are and give you the air quality data around you and a little bit of a forecast for the week, right? Which is, again, a nice touch. I do kind of like that here. What else did I want to show you guys? Oh, the other thing I did want to kind of look at is, in addition to the more here, right, you have this map. And the map is actually kind of cool in that it's got a heat map that will overlay not actual heat temperature, but will overlay how the air is doing in different areas. So as we zoom out, we'll get a much better idea of the air quality. So if a particular area is bad, it would go maybe a red color or a purple color. And the other nice thing is you can actually see the wind. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see this here as I zoom out, but you'll be able to see the wind and the direction the wind is heading. So again, get your weather on a little bit, you'll be able to understand how all this stuff works together. So final thoughts. I like the device. I've currently got it deployed in my kitchen. It's really handy right there to be able to remind me that, hey, I probably need to turn on the range hood, the fan above my stove while I'm cooking, and kind of get rid of the air there. Kind of the downfalls of this, well, it's missing the VOC sensor, and I would definitely love to see IQAir kind of look at implementing a Amazon Madam A skill, their digital assistant, their voice assistant, as well as Google Home, potentially HomeKit support. All of those would be nice, I think. Kind of the pros, though, it is very easy to read. It's a bright screen across the room. You can carry it and move it around with you. The other thing that I really like about it is like that battery. The battery is a big deal, and as a kind of a part-time developer, I love the fact that I have API access into the device and the data, and I've got the ability to kind of play around with it. What do you guys think? Is this a device you'd look at putting in your house? I can see how the style might not be for everybody, but personally, I think it works great in the kitchen, and it's really helped me keep air quality at the top of my mind so that when I am cooking, I'm not kind of polluting the rest of my house and my family. Comments, questions, you know what to do, put them down below. There will also be a Amazon affiliates a link right in the video details to let you know where to pick one of these up if you are so inclined. I would appreciate your support. Thanks.